All right, hey, honey. I'm doing this on my phone because my computer doesn't do it as well. So anyway, I'll do it the best I can and hopefully can show you everything I need to show you. All right, we had no problem with the recipe, but I'm going to show you how I like my mix. So I have put everything into the bowl. I'm just trying to get this down here for you. I mix by hand everything. I know you do extremely large batches, so for that I'm sure it's difficult, but even if I'm making 400 or 500 gram baking soda batches, I still do hand. Being that we are only mixing oils, of course, we can dump, and we can dump it right in. Oils don't activate the mix, so it can sit there forever. Anyway, I mix by hand because I have found that no matter what kind of mixer, KitchenAid, hand mixer, whatever, I can mix it better by hand and faster. So I just slowly mix just to get the dust somewhat down. My trick is rubbing it between the palm of my hands. Very hard. Not fast. Some people get in here and they have like a whirlwind and they send it everywhere. But I mush in between my palm of my hands. The key to any good mix is that when you add your oils and your dry together, your mix should be almost perfect. The reason I say almost perfect is because we're going to add our colorants next. Of course, don't swear by me, don't quote me. This is the way I do it. This is how I get my beautiful bombs. But I add my colorants next. Anyway, I want my bombs to be almost perfect. I don't want them to be too damp yet. And I definitely don't want them too dry. If they're too dry, I need to increase my oils. So when I am done, I do a squeeze test. Stays together, that's what I want. But kind of came apart. Mine's probably a little bit damper than normal, but that's okay. I'll get away with it. But it fell apart, and I'm kind of throwing it with my sore thumb, but it breaks apart. That's what I want. Now to pack and to swirl. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I always get every last bit of oil out. Just to have it. Don't want to waste anything. Okay. And mix some more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of white back into here because I'm going to show you how I do my swirl. And I'm only going to color, let's see what color shall we use today. What am I making afterwards? I don't even know yet. I haven't planned that far ahead. Let's do a red 33 and a yellow number 5. Okay, so both watercolors. So I'm just going to do a little bit of each color right now because I really don't know what else I'm going to do yet. I don't measure. I'm bad. Here we go. I don't have much in there, so I just sprinkle a little bit in. And then again, I mix up with my hand. Mix really well. I don't want to see any white. Usually, if you do get the white spots, now it's a couple reasons. One, you may not have mixed good enough. 2, sometimes if your baking soda or your citric acid just clump together after you mix, like if your citric acid was, say, too damp or something, that can happen too, but that's an easy fix. Run it through your sifter again. All right, now I'm at a purple. I probably added a little too much, but like I said, I really don't care. So I take my 70, here comes my color change. Can you see with the light there? Here comes my color change, and I turn to my pink. And I mix again. Now, when you're adding in any dyes, I don't care, micas, whatever you're using, it will change the texture of your mix, and that's what I look for. I mix, I mix, I mix, fluff it back up again, and do a test. Stays together. Stays together. So that's perfect for me. Now you're going to notice, especially with my recipe feels really fluffy at first. And then when you start adding colors to it, it'll start to feel like a normal bath bomb mix. That's fine. That's the way it's supposed to. Excuse me while I wipe off my gloves. So I can get this color off of it. Now, I use 70% because 70% has 30% water content to it. So it helps bring the watercolors out. I don't want my watercolors to be completely, like 100% out. Like if I'm using purple, I don't want it to be the brightest, best purple it could be yet. I want that for when it hits the water. Actually, we'll use yellow in here. So again, I'm really bad. I sprinkle. And you'll notice with yellow number 5, your mix will look orange until you spray it with water or alcohol. I never use water in my mix, nor do I use witch hazel. If I start to get a powdery feel, I have gotten to the point now where I spritz all of my bombs when they're done with cyclomethicone. And that will help keep them from getting that powdery feel some people just don't like. Oh! See how it's kind of got that orangey. Oh, I can't really see it in the. So I will go ahead and add some more. Sorry, I have a cold too, so you get all the best. Alright. So we mix. Let's see if you can see this. And you see that yellow coming out? Okay. Now I mix it up again, and I mix it really good, and I'm going to do a test. Once I get to the color that I have achieved that I like, even with the micas, whatever, with my 70% alcohol, I switch to 91, and then I use 91 to keep it at that perfect clumping level. Depending on how dry you are, your alcohol will evaporate, so you will have to check often. Again, which is what I like. Here I am. Stays together, so I'm good. Now, I never did the white, so I'm going to go ahead and spritz it a little bit and mix it up. Okay, now to pack and to swirl. So, I have my molds, and I usually just use a paintbrush skewer. Fluffy mix is what you need. You have to have a fluffy mix. Even if you turn around and you spray it and you gotta mix and mix, if you mix between the palm of your hands, you'll learn to fluff it as you go. Fluff is the key. If you fluff, your round molds will always float, as long as your mix is right. So, to swirl, I take a little bit of the white. I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow. I do not cover them. I give them their own little quadrant. And yeah, I'm going to make a mess. Anyway, can you see that? So there's my white and all that. So what I do, and I put in a lot, just so you can see. But I pinch and pull up. I pinch and pull up. I spin it a quarter. I pinch in the middle and pull up. And then I just take up my skewer and I just screw it from the outside in. This is my trick. Lightly tap it to a cradle. So that you look like this. Okay. Now let me go and get my other one done. There's a couple reasons for that cradle, I'll tell you really. Don't let me lie. One is it helps create that nice pretty swirl and keep it in that color. Two is it's going to allow you 2 layers of embeds. And this one I probably did not even put in there enough, so we'll just throw some on the sides. Alright, so I do my swirl. Now, I've tapped down gently. I don't want to tap it down so hard that it sticks to the metal, and then I can't unmold it. Excuse me, get some embeds here. My little knife broke. I have to use my big knife. So I always do an embed on each side for sure. But I also usually like to do an uneven amount. And today we'll just do some greens. So again, here we are back to the fluff. Now this side I fluff a little in and I make sure it goes all the way around. Now I can go ahead and add in a couple more embeds. You see that? I can add embeds. And now I'm going to take some of my white, whatever color, doesn't really matter, and I'm going to fluff it as I drop it. Fluff it as I drop it. Fluff it as I drop it. And then some of my red. Can you see? Fluff it as I drop. Fluff it as I drop. I want it wicked high. I do not poke holes, and I do not pack it down. I'm going to let them mix. See if you can see if that's a little bit better so you can actually see how high that is. Okay, and let me get to the other one. Tilt this back down a little bit. So again, I fluff, 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 and I'll even put 3 embeds on this one. We'll cut them into small little pieces. Okay. So see, I have put a couple rows now of embeds, which is pretty cool. So now fluff, 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 but you got to make sure that you get all the way around the holes. I've seen people forget to put them on the sides. And my mix is still fluffed up. See how it's nice and fluffy. Now, this is the key. When you go to push them together, you don't want to have to He-Man them. Please don't He-Man. And you also don't want to have no resistance. If you have no resistance, take it apart. The bottom's not going to stay together. But you do want to have to slightly push them together. And you'll see some come out. And trust me, I have a sore thumb with 3 stitches, so I can't even really press that hard. Now, I'm not moving the mold. I'm just, you know, moving the stuff off of there. Now, when it comes to tapping out, this is my trick I've been teaching everybody. We don't tap just the top and the bottom. Hold tight, sides. We got to break loose this vacuum right here, and that's what helps it come out. Side, side, top. There we go. And ta-da. Okay? Now, I leave it in. Now, I go ahead and take my 70 and spritz. And then my lovely cyclomethicone. Spritz it. And then I let it sit for about 20-30 minutes just to let it harden up enough. If it wants to be a little soft or any of that rigmarole. And then I take it out and pop it out, and then I spray on the other side. If you follow that, like I said, as long as your mix is fluffy, 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 and you let the mold do the packing for you, your bomb should always float. Round ones anyway. I cannot guarantee anything on, you know, 3D or flat ones. So I hope it helps. I cannot wait to see your next one. Hopefully the one tonight will actually float for you, since your other one didn't really sink. This is an awesome recipe. You can take away cornstarch. You can add more cornstarch. I use cornstarch for the soft water, and I use coconut oil for the soft water. And it took me a long time to find a recipe with the right ratio of coconut oil that wasn't a disaster. So anyway, I hope the recipe helps, and have fun with it.